Testing.
I'd like to call over the Beaver County Board of Commissioners work session for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Review of work session discussion meeting minutes. All right. We'll move to department head report. Any department head report? Okay.
Good morning. We didn't meet last Friday with the parking garage update due to the Thanksgiving holiday. We will meet this Friday. Hope things go well. It's last one of the year. Make you aware of that.
And we did meet with the property owner.
Yeah.
Commissioner Manning, Dan and myself were there, and I think it was a productive meeting. I think we'll be able to work through it, likely in the springtime, whenever we need to have access to that side of the building for the final renovations to the parking garage.
Any other department head report? Oh, he's a good guy.
I'm back again with a report after the presentation of the 2026 budget and the general fund having a shortfall of $5 million. I'm going to continue to do what I do and report on non-essential purchases that continue to happen and expenses that have increased significantly from prior trends. First, I have an update on the 2025 actual financials from November 30th, 2025, and I'll give this back to you. As of this date, revenues are at $72.1 million, which is 66% of budget. And expenses are at $81.2 million, 75% of budget, for a deficit of $9.1 million. And these numbers don't include payroll that just posted today, which adds another $2 million, which puts us $11 million behind for 2025. Without the ARPA interest, which we're done with, Sandy, correct? We're done with ARPA interest this year?
Yes.
Gone. The general fund revenues average $82 million. So I estimate only $10 more million revenue for the general fund. We are already past that with expenses, and 2025 is not closed yet. This is not good news. I'll continue again. Charges on the credit card reported prior, 3,200 in non-essential promotional items with personal names on them were considered okay to purchase on the credit card. The sheriff deputy is overspending their food allowance, and we're working with them to change that. The coroner autopsies, as I reported, jumped from 2015 to 2016 when we got a new coroner, $100,000. They have increased 60% with this new coroner, up to $300,000, and we're still giving him that budget. Two departments that came to salary board and asked for new positions for their funds, the DTF and RBC. The salary board was told that these positions would be self-sustaining, and the money made in these funds would pay for the salaries. Since the RBC moved those two positions to be funded under the RBC, the fund has been negative, $64,000 in 2024 and $20,000 thus far in 2025. The DTF, as of the end of November, is almost 50% less in revenue from prior years, with only 1 month to go. This fund is at a deficit of $80,000 with still a month to go. And to remind you, this position was created for the DA's best friend and law partner at a cost of $80,000 for taxpayers this year. These are not self-sustaining funds, should they be accountable. Overtime, the DA's office used to average $80,000 for 2021 to 2023. 2024 was $123,000. And 2025 is already at $165,000, and their budget was only $75,000. In 2 years, it has increased over 100%, and they are 100% over budget in 2025. The sheriff overtime is at $290,000 already with a month to go, and that is already $40,000 over budget. Increased travel. When looking at the travel expenditures over the last 5 years, we have some departments who have increased travel over 50 and 100%. On the October credit bill, we had people leaving 27 to 270% tips. I had someone purchase something for $3.70 and leave them $10. We had a department pay the monetary on their credit card to file something for our county. We shouldn't have to be charged, but if we are paying other departments in the county, this should be done through the AP process. We had a $500 training that I would argue is not relevant to the position that it was paid for. The DA purchased 60 police logo jackets on a credit card for $21.60 on top of the $3,200 bid 2 months ago for promotional items. Is this essential to the job when they are 9 million in the red this year? Every month we have spending on drinks and food for the ESU training. We train twice a month. We have to provide food and drink every time. Does that mean every department can charge food and drink when they do training? Where does it stop? Again, all this adds to the $9 million deficit. In 2016, the commissioners made tough and admirable decisions to get the county back on track financially. In addition to tightening the budget, they lowered the headcount to 721 people. At the end of 2024, we were at 785 headcount. That is 64 new positions added, putting us over where the 2015 headcount was by 35 people, totally eliminating all the good that they did in 2016. I'm going to use community development as an example of too many positions. Looking at the last 15 years, that department typically managed between 5 to 8 million, except for 3 years when we had ERAP funds to distribute. That increased to 12 to 13 million. You gave them 4 new positions from 2020 to 2022 to help manage that grant money. That program has been done since mid-2024, and they still have 12 people, 3 of them fiscal. And even with those 3 fiscal people, Diane and my department had spent 85 hours over the last 2.5 weeks to help them fix their ERAP report for the state for the November 19th deadline. They had the information for almost a year and couldn't reconcile it on their own. She worked with them last November through January, giving them information and guidance on how to reconcile the numbers. The 3 fiscal people, Marlene, they could not do it. I will continue to report to you these issues I see because this deficit spending is wrong and could have been avoided. I know many of you think I'm a pain in the butt and a squeaky wheel. Tony rolls his eyes at me all the time. I don't care. This was avoidable. We should have been better people. We have not been doing our elected duty, and I'm really mad. Thank you for allowing me to talk that much. I appreciate it.
So you don't just get to read off the paper. Let's talk about the items. You threw a lot of stuff at us
That's fine.
in a matter of 3 minutes.
And I'm gonna tell you right now,
That's
I'm
fine.
doing this publicly because.
We know why you're doing it publicly. It's okay.
All right.
I mean, just like the posts that you put out there publicly that are misleading.
Okay.
The 36 new positions in 2 years, you don't talk about the 5 sheriff deputy part-timers that are put into the man hours. We're not creating new salary positions. You don't talk about how there was like 16 or 17 in 2024 that were created, that you voted for over half of them. So,
No, I told how many people I voted for, so if people look at the numbers, I'll give you the facts.
so, which is fine, but you are more than welcome as an elected official, as a resident of Beaver County, anyone's welcome to come to this meeting and say what they like. No one is mad at you do that. We'll make that very clear. But we would appreciate if you would give us that information prior to the meeting, so when you come publicly and talk about it, we could at least respond. So we could go, I have nowhere to be today. This is a public meeting. Let's go down, get your list out. Let's talk about each one.
Do you want these so you can look at them?
No, I mean, if we're talking slowly, I can talk about each one.
All right. Charges on the credit card, the 3,200 promotional items with a personal name on it. Why is that okay?
So we were advised by our legal counsel that it does not say elect or vote for. You sat back there and told us you were going to turn that into the Ethics Commission. Have you done so? If so, what is the answer? And we said, if they come back and say, absolutely not, you can't do that, we would ask the district attorney to reimburse us. Have you done that?
I did not turn into that.
Okay.
I'll give you the reason why.
That's
I'll
fine.
give you a couple minutes. And I did say I was going to, I said I could do that as an option. And I'm going to be perfectly frank, and I'm going to do this. Our AG and ethics boards are useless.
Okay.
I turned in a very obvious issue a year and a half ago to the AG and the ethics board. One positive outcome, nobody got in trouble. It was very, very obvious. This is hazy. The ethics board will laugh at it.
Okay.
No one else has done this though in the courthouse. They know the line. None of us have done it to this extent. We all pay for our logo jerseys. We made the pathonetary pay for their stuff.
Mhm.
We don't put that in there. We know the line as elected officials. No, it's not illegal. It is unethical. We don't do that. We don't use our county funds to benefit our position. None of you guys do it.
No.
Nobody else does it. It's wrong, very disappointing, not illegal. Very wrong. None of us have ever done it in the county. None of us
I would
in the
agree.
last 15 years. That's why I think
I
it's
would
wrong, okay?
So
Okay.
moving forward.
Okay.
So what can we do to solve the issue with the credit card?
I asked to write a policy, and I heard that a comment was made that I don't want a 55-page policy. That's ridiculous to have that many pages. I don't think it is. People are spending wrongly. We need a policy that we can back up and I can enforce.
So,
I can only enforce what you give me, right? You guys set the budget, you guys set the parameters. I can only enforce what you guys set unless it's illegal, unless there's no contract, unless it's illegal, I can take you to court and say no. But if you guys put it in the budget, if you guys allow it, I have no recourse to stop it. So you guys have to set policy,
So-
you guys have to set budget.
so no
to allow me to
recourse to
enforce
stop
it.
do we know how many items were, I mean, I don't know the exact, and I'm sure you don't either, also, there's no way you'll know. But like, that 35, was that purchased out of the correct line item? Was that purchased, or was there money need to be transferred to pay for that?
No, they had miscellaneous income they had.
Okay, so use miscellaneous income. So, I mean, my recommendation would be is no one has a credit card.
I would love that too.
Everything is done via purchase order, unless you're traveling, then obviously you would have to.
Or the gas, right, for the sheriff deputies for the gas, but we should be making that.
But, and I think we'd have to hold our department heads and elected officials responsible for holding those credit cards till someone says, I'm going to Harrisburg for a hearing. I'm just using Eric Berg's EMS hearing, then Deputy Whipple would give a credit card. You know, that's probably the easiest thing. So that was first on the list.
Okay. Sheriff deputies overspending food allowance, we're working with them. They're also the ones doing the high tips. We're working with Brett and the sheriff on that. They're supposed to be getting back to me.
So have we requested any money back from them
I
regarding that?
haven't, we requested it about a month and a half ago, and we have not seen that yet.
Okay. Can you copy us on those? I mean,
Sure, I'll forward you.
again, I think this all goes back to.
Working on it, but he was.
Well, I think it also.
We're aware of one.
I think it also goes back to, and it might be more work for your office, but no more food charges on a credit card. You get reimbursed.
That's the way it's supposed to be, because it's for the CBA, it should be reimbursed, it should be on.
So we need to enforce that. I mean,
Is that something we can enforce? These are things that get.
I think we can, because we could get rid of their credit cards and just give them a gas card.
Okay.
There's fuel cards,
Okay.
so that they could just use fuel for cards. So anyone moving forward purchasing meals is going to be on, I mean, they make enough money to buy their own meals. I mean,
Corner autopsies. You guys have been looking at this for a while, right? I mean, his was a policy change. That was a direct thing. He came in, his went up $100,000. This was not an increased inflationary. This was a policy change on him. I know you guys have been looking at it. I would love for you guys to take him back to his budget to say, you get $175,000, you get to come to us to get anything over, right?
Garen, sorry.
Thomas, I'm aware of it.
I know you're having the coroner's autopsy. I think the recommendation is to set a rate or set a number in the budget and say, once you hit that, you have to come to us. But at the end of the day, can we tell the coroner he can't send someone for an autopsy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's his call. We'd have to have a conversation with him as far as, I don't know the details as far as why he uses them. I think it's.
I know a lot of stuff changed with COVID. They were like automatically, I don't know if that was state mandated or how that was required, but I know they were doing autopsies.
There were a lot more autopsies that started around
It
that.
started then, and I don't think they ever dropped off since then.
Sorry.
Sorry about this. I'm sorry. The two funds that they promised us that would be self-funded, they are not. Should the general fund have to pay for those? I mean, they came to salary board and goes, we will, so the DTF and the RBQC, they came and said, these positions will fund themselves, and they're not. Where do we stand? When they don't fund it, what do? You say, okay, we're not paying it anymore? Like, they said it would be funded and it's not.
So those are non-union positions, correct?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the RBC, the
And the
two
D-
positions?
And then the DTF, yeah.
And I don't know if it's one of those things where the timing's just off from whenever they get the money reimbursed from the
No.
state. I don't know the answer to that.
So,
I know it's not on the RBC, they're regularly not getting the money in to fund it, so. And they were able to keep their positions, right? So it wasn't, I don't know, okay, if we just moved the positions over, because the general fund lost that money, so it really did, we made it up, but they were allowed to keep those two positions open, and they filled them. So we actually added two positions.
those were the RBC, the Sergeant RBC, and then the part-time RBC deputy down there.
Right.
Yeah, those were added.
And the DTF isn't funding itself either, so. Sheriff overtime, we keep giving him more and more positions, this is for managing hours, right?
Mhm.
And he's not filling them and doing it, we're getting more and more overtime, so new positions aren't helping him. So we need a new plan.
So his plan,
Positions didn't help him, right?
his plan will be,
It's 600,000.
his plan will be to bring $600,000 worth of more full-time positions in.
Okay, so he's gonna come with a whole plan to fix
Oh,
it.
yeah.
He has
and we project
every year, and we
for
reject it every
2
year
years.
because it's cheaper to do overtime than it would be to hire full-timers.
Okay. Increased travel. I mean, is that just the nature of the business?
Well, I don't know, that's a department head and a row officer issue, not our issue.
What, when we say increase, I mean, do we know I'm sure you do, you might not have it, can you get us the actual dollar figure on how much the increase in
I
travel
can send
is?
you for the departments that have gone up 50 to 100%.
And we're talking about conferences, or are we talking about mileage, just
So we gave an
A little bit of
example,
everything.
and this wasn't CYS, because that was another example, right? Here's CYS's issue. CYS spends about $200,000 a year in mileage.
Mhm.
They have vehicles that sit over there, and they're not using them. And they're saying, it's too much trouble, we're gonna pay this and this. I think we need to work with the director of CYS. Like, if we have 5 people sitting over there, let's rotate the schedule, right? Let 5 people use it. I mean, these people are using mileage to get $800 to $900 extra money a month, and it's being allowed. I mean, they're manipulating the system. We have people that you have to get supervisor approval if you go over 50. So they're driving 100 miles and putting 49 miles down, so they don't get supervisor approval. They're just taking that so they can get reimbursed. And when they go over 50 miles, they're supposed to use the car, but they're not without supervisor approval. So they're manipulating the system to get more money in their pocket. And we have cars sitting there, and I have people who tell me they drive over there, and in the winter, they haven't been moved. There's like snow on them. They haven't been moved for weeks. So I think if we're gonna buy them cars to use, we should be using them to save us money.
Yeah, I think there's more to it than what you're stating, but I agree. There's a better solution.
And Josh keeps giving me
I think
answers.
it's more convenience on their part than it is a manipulation of manipulation for financing.
I would argue that.
Because it's
based on
still
how-
wear and tear on their car.
I would argue that, otherwise, why would someone drive 100 miles and just fit in 49, because it doesn't matter to them, does it?
I would love a car to drive.
They're just
And
sitting
I don't-
there.
and
So
I
why
don't
do
follow
they buy
mileage,
cars that are
so-
sitting there? I mean, why do
You
they
want,
need?
you want Commissioner
Yeah.
The police logo shirts upstairs. We don't allow anyone else to buy those departments. We made Thornton do it. I purchased it for my department. You guys pay for yours. We don't allow any other department unless it's a uniform, like for juvenile or stuff like that, to purchase something with the county on it. I don't see it in the CBA or anything that they need police.
So I don't necessarily know the full, we could get more information on it. I think that they're using it as uniforms.
But it's not in the CBA. They've never.
They don't even have a CBA, because I think it's more, I think that's for, it was for the SWAT. If it's 30
I
something,
don't know, it's 60 police logo
that was the
jackets.
ESU, and I think
issue.
it
And
stays
so,
with
was
the team.
there a decision made, or did you guys approve that they're now gonna get uniforms paid out of the general fund? Because they've never done it before, so it's not in the CBA, it's not been done before, so did you guys
Well,
approve it?
the ESU wouldn't even have a CBA.
Yeah, they don't even
Okay,
have
so did you
CBA.
guys approve this, that
Yeah,
they
those
now
guys
get
are-
logos,
Half of them.
police
No,
jackets?
I think that probably goes back to the credit card thing. Is that what it was purchased on?
Yeah.
You know, they probably see in their budget that they have money that they could spend, and they went and purchased it. I remember that it was talked about, and they did say they're using it as a uniform, so if a member leaves a team, the jacket stays with the county. It doesn't go with the team member. I'm sure their justification is probably going to be that they get paid minimum to go out and do what they do, and they pay for all their own equipment already. But I think we can have a conversation with them.
And again, if you guys say, yes, you want this, and this is what you want for uniformity, it comes from you, right? And I have to honor that, but if we're just letting people buy this and never have before, I don't think it's good that you guys aren't saying, yes, we want to do this for our ESU team.
Yeah,
I think that should come from you.
I think it goes back to the credit card. You know, if we take credit cards away because people are abusing them,
Okay. Let's bump it.
all right, I appreciate it. I think that's what we probably should be doing more than, you know, if something gets brought up, it needs to be discussed, and we could take action from there. So I appreciate it. Any other department head report? Solicitor's office.
The two items that I have are a personnel and a negotiation matter for executive session.
Any questions for the solicitor's office? All right, we'll move to the Board of Commissioners.
I just have a couple of things. One, we were at CCAP, the County Commissioner Association, fall, winter conference, which is always the weekend before Thanksgiving, which is a fun time to be traveling to Hershey and back. But a lot of the conversations were on the state budgets in general, data centers, and the priorities. We did have a voting session on the priorities for 2026 for all of the 67 counties that make up CCAP. The top 3 vote getters were Eric, with our repeated disappointment with Harrisburg. 911 funding is still the top priority of all the counties based on the vote that we did. Second was mental health funding, something else that the state budget did not meet the needs of the counties for. And the third was actually timely reassessment assistance, which is surprising and not nearly as relevant to us since we just went through reassessment, but there are a lot of counties out there facing the potential for reassessment. Other priorities, there were 10 that were discussed, but local level land use, election funding support, juvenile detention beds, cybersecurity funding, farmland preservation support, transportation funding were rounded out to top 10, but those top 3 are the official priorities. The other thing, we don't have a prison board this meeting this month, but I did want to congratulate Jason Beeson and the whole staff at the jail. We had every 12 to 24 months, we have what's called a Title 37, Chapter 95 inspection. There's 48 essential standards that have to be met, 94 non-essential ones, and it includes all the procedures, policies, and the physical plan. And it was really a good report. There's probably a dozen minor things, any auditor that goes in going to find a procedural thing a little bit out of alignment and stuff, but they did a great job. And what I really appreciate, and the new warden and the whole staff have done, is they knew this was scheduled, but they're ready for an inspection every day. That those guys are really becoming well-trained and well-prepared, and the procedures in place. And I really appreciate the effort they went through this couple-day report. And there'll be public record on it. They have to respond to the report, but I just got this December 1st, and I just wanted to thank them for all their efforts and the great work they're doing down at our county jail. So that's it for me. Yeah.
The only other thing, and I know Controller went through your list, do we want to discuss, since the floor is open, the shortfall that we continue to talk about?
That 5 million?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you tell us how you came up with the 5 million?
So what happened is, by state law, you only have to balance the budget, right? So you don't have to balance the budget. So a lot of people do that by inflating revenue.
Yeah.
Which is gonna have to change here because Gatsby's coming out in about 2 years that you're gonna have to change. They're gonna start monitoring that so that you don't see overinflated budgets just to balance. So basically, in the budget, Corey has about 2 million being a budgetary beginning balance, and he's overinflated the revenues by about 3 million, looking at the last 6 years, that we would get to balance the budget. So we have revenues in there that we will not get. And that's not grants, that's like miscellaneous income, departmental income. We have 800,000 in there on a grant that, for the DA, that we've already spent the expenses, but we're collecting the revenue over 5 years, that's one ECHO's monitoring.
Yeah.
We put in 1.9 million we're owed for next year, but the balance on that's like 1.2 million, and that I think we are receiving over the next 2 to 3 years. So it's like we're not even getting it on next year. So that's kind of right there. That grant is coming, but it's already overinflated. So that's what I'm getting is the revenues are overinflated to balance the budget from what actual.
So, yeah, so without the 1.152 from the DA that we discussed, the revenue shortfall was,
I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years, so I'm not sure.
yeah, it's like 2 million.
Okay.
So, and that's where he shows in the budget of 2 million because of the grant. So it is closer to about 4 million, as what you said. So you're saying there's $1 million of.
We're claiming we're gonna get on our current budget they presented to you, he says the DA grant money we're gonna get is 1.9 million. The balance owed on right now
Is 1.1.
Is
Yeah,
1.1.
there's $800,000 difference, and that's why he didn't have that information whenever we
Reporting.
approved it. So that's going to change, and that's,
Okay.
Obviously that's why the
So then
budget's
that
on
might be
account.
over 2 years, so that might be half, so that's
Yeah.
the projection, so at least saves 100, so if you change that, that's 800,000 down. But we're still about 3 million, and I don't have.
That's okay. No, I have 2 million, so that's why I'm wondering,
I have the revenues that are overlaid on the other paper. that
So
I
I just wanted to talk about, because whether it's the radio that picks it up or it's social media, there's a big difference between 4 and 5 million. It's $1 million is a big difference. At the end of the day, the board is prepared to pull $2 million from the reserves to cover. Is what Corey's presented to us.
So
Which-
2 million on top of the 2 million he already has?
No, which will change to the 800,000, so it'll probably be like almost 4 million is what he's saying.
4 million?
So 2 and 2, yes, I'm sorry,
4 million is gonna be pulled over.
Yes. yes. So, but, okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. So how much is in reserves?
What was reported,
You got about 27 million.
27 million.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's over 20 something.
Yeah, it was at the last,
13.5 is our operational 3-month, and then
Correct.
we have
like,
others.
yeah,
We
like
have
another
We
14.
have a couple, I think we have 15 million left for the
Yeah, almost
projects,
15
the
million.
broadband projects, and we have another maybe 10
Yeah,
that was gonna go capital, so.
when we did the budget, when he was here for the budget, we asked that the question was,
But again, we don't,
that's what the
we don't
operating.
wanna pull from that, because if this year stays as it is, we're gonna lose all of those reserves in 3 years.
Well, the interest rate is going down. I mean, we're now at 3.7. Where we were at close to 5 in those making heydays.
But again, I sent you guys in the Corey, the 1.5 million, I think we can tighten up all of our budgets, right? To cut another 1.5 million out, and that's a big chunk. And that's not with minor equipment purchase and stuff like that, like, things,
Any other business? Audience participation? Hearing none? All right, we will move into executive session. Sure.